Okay, so I've pretty much been running this non-stop for almost 24 hours now. I got a pile of benchies. Um, it's running great. They all have the same identical flaw. There's one little tiny line in the same place on all these. These were all printed at 60. Also, they look kind of hot, so I was using some cheap filament. I turned the temperature down on this next print, and I did check the flow rate with the extruder. Just that one little line right there. The rest of it is pretty crazy. But yeah, it looks hot. It looks like you can see the texture. Very hot. But yeah, all of them had that line, and then I was like, well, wait a minute. If all of them had that line in the same spot, that's probably in the slice. So I checked the E-steps, having the extruder mounted right on top of the nozzle, and it actually said that there was less filament used by 4 millimeters. So it's close enough. I didn't mess with it. I ran it through by hand. Maybe that caused a little bit of a, maybe I ran it through too fast. I don't think I did. Anyways, so it's not good that that this has to be so precise to work, because people don't have the tools to measure. You know, I mean, I got the calipers. These are good, decent, very good. And if you don't have these, yeah, how are you gonna know if it's fixed, if it's right? Pay attention. It is pouring here. The power just flashed, and the plus just restarted. It was the only one that went down out of any of them. The rest of them stayed up. So here's what I've done to give this a better chance of fitting if it's not printed exactly perfect. I dropped this bottom bracket and removed it, and we can put that bracket on with 3 nuts. It'll slide in here, and your screws will come in, and these will be a little bit of a pain in the butt to find 20 millimeter flathead screws. They're out there. I don't have any, and I went to Home Depot to see if they had any, and they did not have any. So those are coming from online. But I believe if we go ahead and attach this to the top carriage, then attach this loosely with its nuts and bolts, so the piece is hanging down, and we'll leave these holes. I left these holes just a little bit big, so there's a little bit of adjustment here. And then we'll put our carriage on, get that on there, then tighten your screws, and I believe this gives you the best chance. For one thing, is it's another spot where the screws are tightening down. Before, what was happening is if it's too small, when you jam the carriages in, it makes the C bigger, so it pushes the two ends apart. So, and then when you tighten down the 2 inner screws, frickin' pulls up on the carriages, binds that thing to a stop. So, and the opposite is true. You know, if it's too big, then it just pulls on the carriages on every screw. Although you can put these outer ones in and it won't pull on it as much, because there's a little give here as this bends a little bit, and it's not pulling on the carriage as hard. So there is ways to tell what's wrong with your carriage by which screws you tighten down. But we're going to hopefully just eliminate that whole deal and get this thing chooching. So I have all 3 printers going. I have that inner bracket, the bottom bracket printing here, and we have a benchy going here. The other thing I found is that some of those benchies were printed at 60 millimeters. there's some shaking going on with this bed right here. So what we did is we downloaded one of the brackets. It wasn't the one that had the most downloads, but it was the one I looked at, and I feel like this one's a little more solid. I like how it mounts in 2 different spots on that tray, and that's the one I'm going to go with. It's also easier to print. It's not as pretty, and I like pretty, but we're going to have to sacrifice pretty for Skookum. So, and yeah, that's the eSun PLA Plus Black, and just it's just pretty stuff. It's just very pretty. And this one just has the linear, the Ys, does not have the X yet. The rails are coming, but I'm not so sure that I'm going to use them because I have real high wing cartridges coming. So I'm going to use the cheap rails with the high wing carriages, and I'll see why it won't work. If I need to buff the buff and polish the rails, I will. All right, everybody, that's it. We'll keep you posted, but we got her licked if you can get a good print. But even if you can't get a print, I think we got her licked too. So, oh, also we have the new relocation switch. It's semi-adjustable. Sits kind of cockeyed in there. Some of that's going to be because this screw right here comes down and it's going to touch that aluminum no matter what you do. So this isn't hitting anything, and I believe that's just going to be the way it stays. So that's pretty much how the other one was, although it did not stick up as high in the back. I think some of that stick up, oh, I put a little bit more of a ramp just to make sure it's not going to catch. And I didn't take my washer out up underneath here. There's a washer that, where are we at here? There's a washer right underneath there that can be removed and give you more clearance, but yeah, that bracket's fine. We'll go ahead and get that released. And also, I want the spindle right here on the spool on the front, and I want to make a bracket, but I was also thinking about, I like the way this turns by itself, so I was thinking about a bracket that will still allow that to happen. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really need to. Just need a little piece that sticks out here with the screw here and gives this something to mount into, I guess. And no pivot. If we want to make a pivot, we'll probably just replace this whole bar. And with this design, I like this, everybody knows I'm an eSun guy, but for a cheap filament, this is good filament to use. So, but I thought about putting a little arm, but up here I don't think you need it. That's kind of working really, really well. All right, that's all. Later on, everybody.